Okay, everybody, welcome to Flash 2022. We're here in Tanner Ridge. Thank you, everybody, for coming. This is an event that was put together by Portland Track and Tracklandia and Tracktown and all of the track organizations around Portland and Oregon. And Jake and I were just talking just before we got up here, and Jake is a member of Tracktown, and I-5 has never been shorter right now. We're connecting Portland and Eugene, and this is the center of track and field in the United States, and some might say the world. So thank you all for being a part of it. We started Flash last year as a way to recognize the work that our photographers do in this sport and how they showcase the beautiful moments that are achieved on the track, and from different perspectives, from the action side of things to the abstract and landscape point of views, and also the portraits and the still moments that happen maybe in the middle of action, but maybe outside of those moments too. So this is a community thing. It's not possible without all of you, and the photographers are a huge part of making track as cool as it is. And like I always say, and I say it too much, I think, football had TV, baseball had radio, the NBA has TikTok and Reels, and track has photography. So that is what makes our sport beautiful and showcases it to the world. But yeah, Portland Track and Tracklandia as organizations too exist to elevate the sport of track and field in the community, but also to use running and track and field as a uniting force in the community. So thank you all for being a part of that. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce our judges panel here. So we have two members of our judges panel, and then Jake, who is Yep, and then Jake is up here as well from Tracktown, and they have some awards to give out for the best photo of Hayward Field, and also the Black women photographers have worked with us this year in an award for the best photo taken by a Black woman photographer. So we're going to give those awards out later this evening as well. But to my right here, we have Ella Donahue. She's a member of the Union Athletics Club. It's okay, you can give her a round of applause. And she is our athlete representative on the judging panel. And we also have Howard Lau here. He's Portland Track's photo chief and the head judge of the panel. So, Howard. And then not with us this evening, we have Courtney White, who wishes she could be here, and she's tuning in right now. But her votes are tabulated already for her picks. And she has some photos out there as well. So Howard, Courtney, and Mercedes Oliver, who is a representative from the Black Women's Photographers and an amazing photographer herself, shooting a lot of NBA games and Oregon 22 this year. The three of them have 3 photos that weren't in the competition, but they're being auctioned off as well. And then Bree Johnson as well from the Oregonian is our 5th judge. So Howard has come up with an elaborate scoring system for the winners of each of the categories, and we've had all of the judges deliberate over the last month and come up with winners for each category: action, portraits and stills, and abstracts and landscapes. And Flash is maybe one of, if not the only competition that recognizes track and field photographers in the way that we do, and actually, thank you very much to our partners, provides prizes for the photographers, as well as a 50-50 split between Portland Track and the photographers with the proceeds from the auction. So we want to keep the photographers shooting these amazing moments, and they're amazing members of the community, and this is just a great way. It's the smallest thing that we can do to show our appreciation for their work. But let's get down to business here. Let's figure out how we rated all these things and hear from you guys too, because I've been talking for a little bit.
So with let's see, we all had over 100 submissions.
I think we had over 150, right?
150. No, 115.
Okay.
115. A lot of submissions. So when those came into the Google form, I separated them out into each category, and then sent those categories off to the judges. You were to rate them between 1 and 40 or whatever the numbers are, and I sent them off to the 5 judges. From there, I compiled it back into the Excel sheet, and then I used the Google form and the formulas to then average out the score. It's like cross country, right? The lowest score wins, right?
Yeah, Google not a sponsor, by the way,
No,
but
they
we won't bleep that out.
So from there, we ran the formula. Closest to a perfect score would be 5, right? Or 1, if everybody rated it 1 across the board. But I think it gave all the judges a voice, and if they wanted to see a shot that I didn't particularly find as interesting because of a photography background, that's great because we have an athletic, athlete standpoint on that, which is really cool. So I think it worked out really well because I get these shortlists back, and I'm like, wow, this is awesome. This is great. I never could see this working out so perfectly, and here we are.
So all of the photos that are represented here this evening are part of the official 2022 shortlist for Flash. 10 photos in each category, and then 3 for each of the 3 photographers on the judges panel. Ella, as an athlete judging these photos and knowing what was going on in a lot of these moments too, or putting yourself in those athletes' places, how did you look at these photos and make your judgments? Was there something that you looked for specifically?
Yeah, I guess one thing that I really like in sports photography, in my limited photography background, I took a couple classes in college, and I still dip my toes in some film photography. Not as talented as the people that did stuff or had photos here, but I think I like to see when there's personality and character that comes out in these brief moments in track and field. I feel like a lot of times the sport is very serious, and I feel like sometimes you don't see the full dimension of everything that goes on in a race or a small moment before or after between competitors. And so I think I just looked for any sort of personality and character that kind of came through in the photos. And it was a very, very hard task to judge them just because they were all so amazing. So
That's great. I mean, being able to pull out from an athlete's point of view, kind of what an athlete is thinking about, and their personality, knowing a lot of these people too. That's a great quality to have on the panel. We're very happy that you were part of it. Let's jump into this. Let's announce these winners so that we can get back to mingling a little bit too. But first, we're gonna go with the portraits and stills category. So Howard, if you can give a brief explanation on what you were looking for here.
Yes, let's do the portrait and stills. So for the portrait and stills, I wanted to see a moment captured in a point of time, in that moment. I wanted texture, I wanted emotion, because there's no action, right? That's another category. So I wanted to see a moment in time, frozen, perfectly like a model. The person looks like they're posing for you after the race.
All right. How about you, Ella?
Whoa. I honestly, I did vote for this one first, that one, and I just thought it was super cool. I mean, there's so much detail. Yeah, that sounds really JV after his.
No, so you have different perspectives, but you come to the same place.
Yeah, exactly. Different perspectives, one way to put it. Yeah, I just thought this photo was sick. I mean, there's so much detail and totally so much emotion in it, and yeah, can we reveal it?
Yeah, let's get a drum roll, please, and then kick this thing off. This is the winner of the Portraits and Stills 2022 Flash Competition, Zeth Paterka. Zeth Paterka. And this is Joey Barry Atua at the Portland Track Festival Steeplechase this year. Joey Bags, and also known as Joey Wet Shoes now that he does the steeplechase, a member of the Tin Man Elite. But yeah, a beautiful moment captured here with the grandstand behind him, and it was a wet one out there. We had the wettest spring ever.
It's the rain.
Yeah, it is the rain.
It's the rain. I mean, if it's going to rain, rain. It shows up on camera. Look how beautiful that is. So that's great.
But Zeth, along with 50% of the proceeds from the auction tonight, also gets $250 for this as well, to go towards some camera equipment. And that is presented by Beynon Sports. So Beynon Sports, presenting sponsor tonight, and they build the tracks that many of these photos are taken on. So thank you very much for supporting the creators of the sport and also providing the stage for all of these moments to take place. All right. So that one will be up, and you can still bid on it until 8:30. But let's move on to action. Action. Okay. So Howard, let's hear what you had to say about action.
Okay, action. Well, it has to be a big moment. It has to be a big moment. For me, I think this moment was huge in terms of the running community. I don't want to give it away. You'll know what I mean when you see it. But it's a big moment. And there's emotion to the action, which is good. I'll leave it at that. So.
Yeah, I guess kind of what I was saying before, just about character in sporting moments is cool, just because a lot of times when people are running, it's just very serious and very, one-dimensional. And I thought this photo was just encapsulated so much.
Okay, and now your winner of the action category, the 2022 Flash competition. You can get a drum roll going here. Go ahead, flip it, Howard. It is Joe Hale's photo of Eliud Kipchoge breaking the world record.
I mean, that's a pretty big moment, right?
Yes, in the marathon in Berlin this year. So that is an amazing photo take there. I love the look on his face too. Like almost he can't believe what he just did, which is exactly what you were describing, Ella.
Yeah, and he's like kind of suspended too, still like finishing but still running. I don't know. It's just so good.
It looks like those mats are Beynon too, I think, that he's running over there. So $250. Thank you to Beynon Sports again, to Joe Hale, along with 50% of the proceeds tonight. And that'll get some great equipment for him. All right, let's move on to abstracts and landscapes. So this was Howard, explain why we put these two together too, abstract and landscape.
Yeah, so landscape and abstract kind of went together because it was kind of hard to decide, with landscape being, well, it's a track. Do we just want track photos? But then we have these really cool abstract looking panning shots and shadow shots and all this. Well, where are we gonna put this? No, we gotta, we'll just put it together because this makes sense. And I think this photo really puts both of the criterias together, where it looks abstract, landscape, pose. I think it's really everything. It's really everything for this photo for me.
Yeah, without, I feel like it's hard for me to talk about it without
giving away.
Yes, so we can talk. Yeah, we can turn it around.
All right, this is the winner of the abstract landscape category for 2022 Flash. Go ahead and flip it, Howard. All right. It is Pierce Townsend's Walking Through the Graveyard is what it has been titled, and is Carissa Schweitzer after the 10,000 meter final at Oregon 2022.
And I think for me, it's because of a clean background. They're placed in there like they're posed, but they're not posed because it's after a race. It's at such a big event. I mean, it's everything for me on this one.
Yeah, also no one is cut off. Everyone's in frame, which I think is cool. And it kind of reminded me of like in, this maybe sound dumb, but in like action movies when, the hero is fighting off like all of like 10,000 aggressors at once, and somehow they manage to like come out of it alive, and everyone else. And I feel like Carissa kind of embodies that spirit in general. She's just so gritty and tough, and I think it's such a moment.
It's also a very cool kind of pose how Carissa and there's another runner walking back towards the start line, and how they're both kind of back to back walking in opposite directions away from what they had just done together. It looks like a Renaissance painting almost, how everything is staged there. So congratulations, Pierce. That's an amazing shot that you got there. These are the 3 category winners for this year's event. And out of these 3 photos, the judging panel had to select a photo of the year. So it wasn't all done in one go. This was a second round once they had decided. I didn't have anything to do with the judging. Once they had decided which photos were the category winners, they went back, assessed each of them, and picked a winner. For Flash 2022, the photo of the year, which Beynon is generously presenting with another $250 as well. And should we announce what that is?
Or which one, right? You don't know which one. Oh, that's right. He wasn't part of the judging. Here, hold this. Should we shuffle though? I don't know. Is it this one? Is it this one? Wait, which one? It is this one.
Okay. Pierce Townsend's photo walking in the graveyard is the photo of the year for Flash, and congratulations to Pierce. You got an amazing career ahead of you. You're a young man as it is, but you've reached the highest heights. So
it's all downhill from here.
No, you got to attain this level now. We expect
Next
greatness
level.
from you. Yeah. So let's give a round of applause for photo of the year again here. But we also have 2 more categories generously presented by Tracktown USA and Black Women's Photographers too. And Jake is going to jump into their selection criteria and how they picked the best photo of Hayward Field,
Yeah.
as well as best photo of Black Women
Definitely.
Photographer.
So I mean, first I want to thank Jeff, Portland Track, and everyone here for being a part of this and letting Tracktown be a part of this. I mean,
I-5's never been shorter,
I was
Jake.
going to say, that's our goal, is we want to shorten the I-5 as much as possible. Tracktown wants to support Portland Track. Portland Track wants to support Tracktown. So we love this partnership and loving seeing everyone coming together and just celebrating the sport. So super honored to be a part of that and represent Tracktown in that regard. But I mean, last year was a crazy year. This year, we're still in it. But 2022 was the greatest track and field year in the history of Oregon, period. Bill Bowerman quoted that in 1972 when they thought that was going to be the greatest year, but 50 years later, fittingly, we decided we wanted to top that. So, I mean, 11 meets in 14 weeks at Hayward Field, plus Portland Track putting on 2 amazing events up here. There was so much track to be consumed this year. But of course, at the epicenter of it all, Hayward Field is kind of what makes Portland, makes Portland, Eugene, Oregon, this community as a whole just special. So Tracktown, we're lucky that we work and live in a town known as Tracktown USA, and we want to really honor and celebrate Hayward Field as a venue as much as we can, because it really is kind of a beacon for the state and the sport of track and field, not just in the state, but nationwide and in the world. So we had the World Champions last year. That's a big deal. So we all came together, the Tracktown staff, we all came together and we pulled out all of the photos taken at Hayward Field last year, and kind of similar process. Everyone kind of ranked their favorites, and then we kind of came down to one final winner at the end of the day. And it was we kept it pretty vague. It's like, okay, any photo taken at Hayward Field is fair game, whether it's action, landscape, portrait, whatever you might have it. We wanted it to kind of be vague, and I think the winner it'll make sense when I unveil it, but it just kind of stood out amongst the rest as a good combination of everything and just truly representative of kind of the year, the moment this community had. And so I will go ahead and unveil it. You wanna do the flipping honors? A little drum roll, please.
All right. Go ahead and flip it.
It is Mr. Matthew Parker's photo of the men's 100-meter sweep at the World Championships. So obviously, if you spent any time in Hayward Field this year, especially if you're at the World Championships, this was kind of just such a pivotal moment for, I think, the community, the stadium, just everything, like the United States, like it really just kind of stood, if you were in the stadium, you couldn't help but feel the emotion of that moment. There were not a lot of photos of Hayward Field looking packed, filled to the gills with people. I think COVID kind of set that back a little bit. We didn't get it at the Olympic trials in 20, so World Championships was an amazing opportunity for the masses to experience Hayward Field, to really see that stadium in full swing. Obviously, the moment of 3 American men with 4 men in the finals sweeping the podium, huge deal. It just was such a landmark moment. The stadium looks amazing in this photo. Also, it's the uniquest shot of that moment as well. He was the only one that really went high. Everyone was down low trying to get that glory shot of Fred. So just the uniqueness of the shot, the emotion of the moment, and just what that moment meant for Hayward Field was just perfectly encapsulated by Matt. So that's why the committee selected him for that one. So Matt, the $250 coming your way for some gear. And yeah, thank you for capturing this moment. It's a very special one.
Yeah, big congrats to Matt. Matt also the only photographer to be selected for all 3 categories. So you can see his photos in this is in the landscape, abstract landscape.
Abstract landscape, yep.
Yeah, so he has portrait stills and action photos out there that you can look for.
He's on the top. He's on the short list, but also top 3 in the voting for each category as
Wow.
well.
So yeah, Matt's an impressive dude. And he's here tonight, so you can
Yeah.
go say hi to him. Ask him the backstory behind these photos.
Definitely talk to Matt.
But yeah, here is this is the winner of the Hayward Field from Tracktown, and yeah, just the emerald of the track state, Hayward Field there. But now we can move on to we partnered with Black women's photographers for this event too, with Tracktown USA, and Mercedes Oliver on the judging panel as well. She couldn't be here. She's actually shooting NBA games as we speak. But yeah, your photo for Black Women Photographer of the Year.
Definitely. So, I mean, I think I'll give a little bit of a backstory, at least on how the partnership with Black women photographers and the sport of track and field as a whole kind of started. But, I mean, it was amazing. So, Polly Arungu, I don't know if anyone knows Polly, but she's the founder of Black Women Photographers. Her and I were actually interns at Tracktown USA in 2016 together. And so, me being fortunate to come back and work for the company and her creating this organization, she reached out to me and was like, hey, like, I know you guys put on events and like pre-classic USA championships. Would you want to hire Black women photographers to be on your content teams? And I was like, yes, please. It was just an amazing reach out opportunity. I mean, obviously, diversity in the sport of track and field, it's a very diverse sport, and the athletes competing, but if you look at the content creators within it, it wasn't as diverse. And so really kind of creating an opportunity for Black women to come into this space and feel welcomed and let them kind of work their magic. I mean, they have such a unique, the photographers that we worked with this year had such a unique perspective on the sport that honestly I haven't seen ever. So you'll see Mercedes' work around. She shot the pre-classic and came back for Oregon 22, was hired by World Athletics. A lot of the photographers we worked with have gone on to do really cool things in the sport and create really meaningful relationships with athletes and getting to know them off the track even. So it's really special to kind of see that flourish, and that Portland Track is also partnering with them for this. World Athletics continues to hire Black women photographers, so really cool to see just their impact in the sport growing, and that their voice can be heard, and their lens, their view of the sport through their lens is just, it's a powerful one. So just creating that has been amazing. So we're partnering with Polly. We created another committee, half Tracktown representatives, half Black women photographer representatives, to pick amongst the Black women who submitted photos from the year. So we had 2 submissions this year. And so the winner, we didn't have it printed out, sadly, but is Kelsey McKinney. She took a very beautiful shot of Tara Davis jumping at the pre-classic, long jumping at the pre-classic. I mean, just see her fully flown out in the air, like determined look on her face. Hayward's looking great. So it was just a beautiful moment. So we came together. That was the one that won in the committee voting. So that's another $250 that we would like to donate to Kelsey McKinney.
And we will have that. We'll have that posted as well, and
Yep.
it's also on
the
seen
stream,
for the live
yeah.
viewers at home.
So, but yeah, so Kelsey McKinney, awesome. So.
But yeah, it's amazing to bring in more diverse photographers into the group, and something that also Courtney White too. There weren't very many female photographers, and she's led the way and kind of pioneered that for the other side too. And yeah,
one of the coolest things I think from pre-classic was seeing all the Black women photographers who knew of Courtney and like how Courtney was such a trendsetter and like woman having a voice or a lens in the sport. All of the Black women photographers gravitated to Courtney, and Courtney was really welcoming of them. So it was super just cool in general to see them welcomed like that, and that's the synergy there. So yeah, that big shout out to Courtney for kind of busting through the door a little bit there.
I think at the heart of it, that's what we strive to do here too. Like we want to put on world-class track meets because they're awesome, but if not for the community, who is it for? And all of the people that work towards doing this and making these amazing meets happen, and to inspire not just the athletes who compete in them, who are the stars of the show, but also the photographers who take their photos, the videographers who broadcast and make takeaways and content from them, and everybody who is an organizer of these meets too, and the fans. I mean, something that you guys are doing, bidding tonight, is really doing a lot for the future of the sport and the people involved in it, because this is also a fundraiser for Portland Track and the meets that we put on too. Before we get to the raffle, I just want to give a shout out to Caitlin Peel, who did an amazing job putting this event together. And also Lisa Seams and Brandon Jacobs, too. And the whole team at Portland Track. I mean, they're all out there. Tate's wearing a sequin sparkly jacket somewhere around here. Michael Bergman's standing back there. But and Alex Gay is around here, too. But yeah, Corinne Murray, she's in the crowd over here. If I missed somebody, shout it out. But also a big thank you to JJ Vasquez and Michael Flotron over there, the Tracklandia crew, bringing this to your living rooms and dorm rooms. But yeah, let's get down to the raffle. You all put a ticket into some buckets up there, and we can bring those up here now, and then we can get back to some bidding. We've got an hour left, so you could still bid on all of these photos.
Drive those bids up.
Yeah, and if you have taken a photo tonight, stand up and put your hand up, because if one of your photos is being shown here, let's just recognize these amazing photographers and give them a round of applause here. And also, yeah, seek them out. Ask them stories too about how they took these photos and what their thought process was as they shot them. All right, so we've got the raffle right here, and then we'll get back to some mingling. No, let's bring
Down
up
the
the
line.
union. So this is gear. I think
Union.
Ella can make this pick. This is Union Athletics gear, and you got a singlet here.
Okay, so I just pick one?
Yeah, and a T-shirt and a sweatshirt, and it all goes to one person. So
Wow.
yeah, pretty exciting. Being modeled by Caitlin over here.
All of it or the last?
I'll just do all of it.
Okay, the number is 132127.
132127.
Who is it?
Going once.
If you don't claim it, we're gonna pick another one.
Yeah, we have to.
What? Do you want me to? Okay, I'll repeat. 132127.
Anybody? Uh-oh.
Wait, what if it's me? Just kidding. I didn't do it.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe we'll circle back to that, I guess. Yeah, we'll pick from for the Bowerman. Which Bowerman is this?
Which one?
Bowermen's.
Bauer Men's.
All right. So this is the Bowermen's. Howard, do you want to get your hand in there?
Absolutely. All right, this one's for you, Corny. All right, here you go. All right. 132143. Nice.
There it is.
Come on up.
All right. Congratulations. Some gear to cheer on the Red Lightning Express. All right. Next up, we have the Bowerman women's gear. Bowerman women's gear.
Hey, you're doing Tracktown? You're Tracktown?
Oh, you've got Tracktown over there. So I'll pick the Bowerman
Hey, no
women's gear.
peeking.
Oh. All right. Bowerman women's gear. 132167. All right. Congratulations.
Nice.
You got. We believe you. You got a scarf to stay warm. Okay. So now we have Jake
Tracktown.
Pulling for the Tracktown gear.
So we've got a lot of Tracktown swag and pre-classic swag. There's a Olympic Trials street pole banner, and if you remember from last year, we joked, don't put it on eBay because it's worth a lot of money. But if it's on eBay, I will know.
Hey, no peeking.
I'm not peeking.
That wasn't a big deterrent not to put it on eBay.
It's
Jake.
probably gonna end up on eBay. Okay, 132109. Hey!
Oh, Lindsay. It's going back to the house. All right.
How many of these did you put in there?
Yeah. Oh, what can I say? I-5 has never been shorter.
Wait, we still have the union one, right?
Yep. Okay, so
So this person is apparently not gonna
well,
get
let's
that.
read it again. Just
Okay,
just-
for the third
this is
time.
the last chance. Yeah.
132127.
All right.
All right. Well,
Alrighty.
we're picking another one here. This is for the Union Athletics Club Blues.
All right, 132097.
Oh yeah. Somebody's pumped about that. Rightfully so. Union Athletics Club gear.
Yay.
There it is. All right. And we have one final. We're going to dump all these into the center here and just
Are we dumping?
we've got a
Oh, yeah?
a Tracklandia t-shirt, one of a kind.
Oh. Oh. Did we dump everything?
I think we did. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Dumped
Save you want to All right, everybody get your tickets in hand here. And we've got a few different sizes too. 132095.
All right, moving on.
Oh, come on, you want this one. All right, we're going to keep it going. 132123. There it is. All right.
That's 2 years in a row.
Amazing. Okay, thank you everybody for coming out. Thank you for bidding. Thank you for supporting track in the state of Oregon. And thank you to our judges, Ella, Howard, Jake. And big thank you to our sponsors as well. Like I said, Beynon Sports, Tracktown USA, Black Women's Photographers, 10 Barrel for the beer tonight. Thank you to 10 Barrel. And Happy Mountain Kambucha, too. Here is Oregon as well. Let's get back to checking out some photos. All right.